Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead, subscribe if you rocking with Youngg Dolph. Comment, let me know where y'all from and who you a fan of. Let's get right into it, man. So they trying to arrange and let everybody get a chance that had anything involved with the whole Youngg Dolph tragedy. They giving them a chance to turn themselves and arrange it to where they have to go and look at it and face the facts of everything that they did, because due to the fact that if the feds have to come out and actually deploy and do all of that kind of stuff to search and find the missing intruders and everything like that, then it's going to be 10 times worse, because they got the 99% success rate. They're going to throw a book at people. When you dealing with the feds and everything like that, it's football numbers. So no wonder when they came at Yogotti's brother, he told, and the two getaway drivers that they caught first, those are the first two people that they got, because they thought that it was the same whip in Covington, which it was not. And I was telling y'all that people had already been talking about how that was supposed to be Blac Youngsta girlfriends. And so what y'all got to understand is that basically they like, okay, you get one last chance. And a lot of people want the justice for Youngg Dolph. And so they really opening their eyes and seeing that a lot of things is coming, and a lot of stuff that's done in the dark is coming to light, because due to the facts of how the way Blac Youngsta is moving right now, the amount that Big Jook told, it had a lot to play in with how everything is kind of trickling down effect from there, because the restaurant, Yogotti Privé restaurant, that don't happen for no reason. That was a direct correlation to Big Jook telling, and basically how why would somebody come after Yogotti cousin right after his brother just talked to the feds and told a whole alleged story, right? And everything allegedly. And so no wonder why they was looking for Yogotti and his cousin, because they know at that point that restaurant was hot. Everybody was watching that restaurant. Everybody that had anything to do with the situation, they knew it was going to go down at that restaurant. And it happened just the way everybody thought it would, because that's why Yogotti ducked off last second. He got the call. Boom. He said, I'm not coming. He didn't even call him to tell him that he wasn't going to come. He just flaked. He just dipped, never showed up. He did a no call, no show. And everybody knows, if you know anything about no call, no shows, that's grounds for basically being kicked out. And so that's what happened in that situation. And so a lot of people already knew that it was bad for CMG, because they dealing with the issues now on a way more close level, because you talking about Yogotti's brother, and then Yogotti cousin gets hit up, man. Somebody was talking. Somebody said way too much, to where they knew that the next person that they talked to coming from Yogotti's side was going to say way too much. And now that could be one of the potential reasons that anybody could have slid onto that restaurant, because they was looking for the people who was going to talk. Point blank period is out there right now, to where they was worried. A lot of people, they don't want to go down for this, because they already understand see what happened to YSL. They see what happened to Bankroll Freddie and everything in the same city. Bankroll Freddie got hit with the RICO. So if they get him for that little stuff, why would they not come after big groups and that had done way more, and people actually fell, and the families is crying, and people had lost a lot, man. And so that's why everybody looking at this like, okay, they all going their separate ways right now. Everybody split up. And you understand that's why Key Glock's been quiet this whole entire time. He declined interviews. The manager stopped talking to everybody. They don't even mess around with the producers no more, because they know at this point it's just that, hey, look, on the other side of this whole situation, once everything is said and done, the water is cool, they sweep through and they get everybody on the other side of it, they gonna see who's really there at the end of it. And so they're like, man, I hope I see you on the other side of this thing, but just let you know right now, nobody is safe, basically, because the way that they came for CMG or coming for CMG, they could come for PRE. If they connect anything about anybody sliding or anything doing this or doing that, that's why all of them is on thin ice. They moving carefully. Big Moochie Grape, Snoop Bands and all them. They know what happened with them 67 missed calls that Big Moochie Grape had. And who knows how many Snoop bands had, but he only talked about having 2 missed calls. So how is it that the same person calls Big Moochie Grape 67 times, but only calls you 2 times? He was calling everybody, man. Dolph was trying to get everybody because they left him stranded at the restaurant when they was all supposed to do the music video shoot. They forgot to tell you about that. They was trying to sweep that under the rug, man. They tried to come up with this thing talking about how, oh yeah, he came to buy cookies for his grandma and his mom and stuff like that. Man, get that out of here. They had a music video shoot there, and that was what was supposed to happen. They stopped saying anything like that because they didn't even touch on the fact that, hey, why did Key Glock do a music video thereafter? Because that was what they were supposed to do in the first place. That's what made it a tribute. That exactly. And so the same reason why he was calling them is because they was all supposed to meet at the cookie shop. And when he got there and it was just him and his brother didn't even show up yet at that point. His brother came from the other side. He came through, he parked on the side and came up. But nobody knew it because his car is low key. And so they already seen Dolph's car was there when he entered. He didn't know what was going to be in there, if Dolph was even walking around or not at that point. He just seen, okay, yup, that's Dolph's car. He pulls up on the side and goes in. And once he enters in, nobody knows anything that happened once he entered in because the footage has been subpoenaed to where the third-party security company that has the footage, they always got the footage. One thing you got to understand is if you don't actually wire and put up your own security footage, when it comes time that you try to get that footage, the third-party security company already owns it, and they could change it and alter it and say that you got to put them on a join the premium payment plan account and pay monthly to actually get access to it. And at that point, somebody's already doing all sorts of different things to it. If it's actually high value of something that happened, the feds already called them and get it so that you can't even touch it because they need it to figure out exactly what happened without you trying to hold on to it, cut your parts out where you did something wrong, and then play the rest out. And so that's why that whole thing, we like I said, everybody was supposed to meet at the cookie shop. And so that's what a lot of people were saying. When Big Moochie Grape said that he came back into town, he had all the missed calls. Snoop Bands, that's at the same time. It was literally, he called Big Moochie Grape, then called Snoop Bands, and then called Big Moochie Grape back. And they wasn't playing phone tag or nothing because he was calling them multiple times, but they both said they was busy doing something, I guess. So when they checked their phones and they seen the missed calls, why didn't they call back? That's what a lot of people wanted to know because it was confusing to this. And that's why when everything gets released, we're going to comb through it page by page. It's going to be literally hours and hours of stuff that you have to comb through due to the fact that it's so many things that happened in those 3 days, but everybody's only talking about a 15-minute period of time when this whole entire situation was an entire weekend, 3 days. You gotta go back to where the gas station wasn't the same day. The gas station was the day before. And how about when they got back from New York with Big Moochie Grape? Who followed them from the airport, from the private jet? Who was following them back? Because they had to have figured out where he was when he got in. That's the easiest way. Anytime, it's a small town in Memphis. And so they already know people who work there at the shuttle service, people who with the baggage claim and everything like that. If they see Dolph, if they see a rapper, they'll know who to call. They know exactly what's going on, especially when people is putting bread up to figure the location to drop the low on people. How do you think Grove Hero found out that Lil Migo was right there about to catch a flight? Exactly. He pulled up there as soon as he could. And so this is the type of things that happen. And so you would only know if you was actually in Memphis. And so that's why the sources are saying right now that basically a lot of stuff is coming out where, okay, they actually